Ducky. Happy Pride Month, especially to the bisexual girlies out there, or guys, or non-binary people who are in straight-looking relationships, so get their queerness denied constantly. Also, new hair. What do we think? Because the blue went over red at the bottom, it's gone purple and darker, but eventually it will all be blue, and I love it. And yes, my mic is connected to my hair because that's how I find to get the best audio. Anyway, in today's video, we are back in the Draw Your Own Adventure book by the wonderful Chloe Rose Art, and today we will be doing 3 prompts in here again, as we usually do. So let's get into it. With sand in every crevice, you jump headfirst into the water. Beneath the surface, you see Bearlin, holding a green crayon. Using only crayons, complete this underwater scene. For extra effects, scrape the top layer of crayon wax away from your more beautiful colouring experience. So I thought I had some crayons, but I've gone through all of my art supplies that are packed away and I can't find them. So I think I decluttered them and gave them to like my sibling or something. So I'm gonna use pencils. My nan always used to call them pencil crayons anyway, so I mean, basically the same thing, right? I used a fairly light hand when colouring this in because I always struggle with pencils, making my wrists hurt. This causes a lighter colour and shows more of the pencil texture, but for once I don't mind it too much. I think it adds to the charm of this page. I love Chloe's bear drawings, they are always just so cute. The only thing I'm not a massive fan of personally are the bits that are already coloured in digitally on the colouring pages, as it's printed, so it will never have the same texture of any of the mediums I use. So I always try to go over them with whatever medium I'm using. In this case, I went over with some pencil. It definitely still looks different to the rest of the piece, but I think it makes it much less obvious with the pencil texture going over it. I tried making a gradient of dark to light in the ocean part, and I'm quite happy with how it came out. I feel like that's realistic for the ocean. It's brighter near the surface and nearer the sun. I've been playing a lot of Subnautica 2 recently, and that definitely teaches you that. It is terrifying, and it's not even the full game yet. I'm playing through the early access with a friend, and the minute we're not playing together is so much more nerve-wracking. I'm really enjoying Subnautica 2. We've got to like the final biome that is currently available, which I think is the 3rd one. It's very much the most terrifying out of all the biomes. I'm desperately trying not to give any spoilers whilst explaining this. They are due to be adding a new biome very soon, maybe even by the time this video is out, and I'm so excited. We've put so many hours into this game so far, and we haven't even finished the storyline that is currently out, which is insane given it's in early access. There's just so much to explore and do, and also it definitely makes me a bit more scared of the deep sea than I was. As I said, I really don't enjoy using coloured pencils most of the time, but this wasn't too bad, and I actually somewhat enjoyed it. If there had been a lot more detail, I think I would have given up, or at least got very annoyed with the piece. My wrist was hurting by the end, but nowhere near as bad as usual, so maybe the way to go is just not pressing super hard and accepting the pencil texture it gives.
Okay, this page is done. My hands are killing me. Let's move on to the next page. Below, you notice something shining. A treasure chest filled with a few measly coins. It looks like a couple of creatures nearby have stolen some of the treasure. Draw a seahorse and a crab swimming away with the coins, then open the bottle.
I love this prompt. I decided to add a little crab and seahorse stealing his treasures from the chest. These paint markers made this so easy to do and just cover up any of the outlines that were in the way. I think he ended up covering up all the line work to keep everything looking cohesive, and these markers did it so easily. I did try to use a couple of my old Poscas on here and managed to finally finish my light blue one on the sea background and used my beige marker for the sand-based colour. I really love this bubbly gradient I chose to do for the background. I think it adds the perfect amount of detail without standing out too much. I just loved the cute cartoony feel it gave, and it definitely inspired the art style for the rest of the piece. I don't often do art in super cartoony styles, and I'm really enjoying it. I definitely struggled a little with the sand and just tried to keep it very basic with some shadows and highlights on top of the base colour. I struggle with making sand look okay every single time it comes up. I find getting the colour right difficult and how to texture or to not texture, shadow and lighting, etc. I always end up getting it too yellow or too flesh coloured. It's really difficult to get it to look right. I think I got it okay on this piece, but again, it's really not the star of the show, and it's just meant to be a background that doesn't call too much attention to itself. I also wanted to make the full page painted, but obviously the writing would be in the way of that, so I decided to mirror the bubbly vibe of the background and made a bubbly border around the writing. I also made a little mound of sand in front on the corner, which I think is a fun little addition and makes the words feel further back and less the centre of attention of the page, which is exactly what I wanted. The crab came together really well and really quickly. I used red for the base, but then went in with a brighter, more orangey tone for the highlights, and I also used some brown for the shadows, and I really think that gives a lot of depth to the crab. I really enjoyed creating the wooden texture on the crate. I wanted it to look aged, like it wasn't a freshly placed chest. I really liked the stippling effect on the lid of the chest, and at first I was going to keep the line work on the chest, but then I realised I didn't need it. With using the different brown and beige tones, I was able to keep all the details on the chest really clear without line work, which is quite big for me as I have used line work as a crutch in my artwork for a very, very long time. And finally, learning how to make art without line work still look good has been really freeing for me. For the coins and crown, I put down a base of yellow before I put down the gold, just because I know that the gold pops better with the base colour below it. For the gems on the crown, I decided to go with some emeralds because I thought the green would pop really well against the red on the crab, and I was planning on making the bottle in the chest dark green as well, as I feel like that's the most iconic colour for a sea bottle. The seahorse in this piece is my favourite part. I feel like I was able to capture a really mischievous expression on the face. I did cut out a lot of fussing about on the face because I did the thing where I put something down and panicked and tried to fix it instantly instead of waiting for it to dry and making a big mess of the face. The colours got all muddy and smudged, so finally I let it dry and then covered it over. That's my favourite part of acrylic markers, the fact that you can cover your mistakes as long as you let it dry and don't try to fix it whilst panicking. I left the bottle till right at the end as it was the part of the page I was the most unsure and anxious about. And of course, the minute I did it, I realised it really wasn't difficult at all and I liked how it came out.
So that's this page done. On to the last one for today. An old map in a bottle. This should be weathered. It'll come to life with some warm tones. Use tea bags, water, or coffee leftovers to give the map an aged appearance before drawing. So let's get into it. So I have my tea and my coffee. Fun fact, I hate tea and coffee. I hate the smell, I hate the taste, and I can't have caffeine anyway. So I've never really done this, and this smells disgusting, so let's just get it over with. But yeah, I have never done any kind of like tea staining or anything, which is probably surprising to some people. Okay, that literally does nothing. Good to know, good to know. Try the more concentrated tea then. Okay, so the tea really hasn't done that much other than make the page really wet, and I am a little worried about the pages on either side. This looks like it's going to be okay because of the acrylic markers. Maybe let's try the coffee. So this is the weaker coffee. Okay, that looks like it's already doing more, which is good. I even kept the tea bag in there for like probably 10 minutes while I was setting up, and it still was really weak. Let's give the super strong coffee a go. I'm trying to concentrate the darkest colours around the edges and then in random spots on here as well. I think I might need to give it a minute to dry before I put any more water on this page though. Okay, this isn't really getting dark as I want, so I'm going to use some of my Posca mixed in with some water, maybe some of the tea water to deepen some of it as well. Let's give this a go. One of my favourite things to do is splatter painting, and I think that will help give a distressed look, so I am inside, so I'm going to do this very gently. Now using some black paint just to try and get some deeper kind of moldy kind of colours going on here. Okay, it is mostly dry, it's still a bit damp and I've left it for ages. I have got it a little bit over here, but it's not the end of the world. I don't have to use my my acrylic markers on this page. And it absolutely reeks of coffee, and coffee makes me feel nauseous. The smell of coffee makes me feel nauseous, so that's fun. Let's get on to drawing the regions on this map. So that's this page finished. Yeah, don't try rubbing it on top of this. It will peel and tear up page, but it just adds to the distressed look. It's fine. So in today's video, we coloured in the ocean. It was meant to be with cat crayons, but I don't have any. Then we drew some sea creatures stealing the treasure, and we created a weathered map. Thank you for watching this video. So that's all the prompts. Which was your favourite prompt today? I think mine has to be the underwater scene with the little crab and the seahorse. I love how the seahorse came out. It's so cute. But yeah, let me know which is your favourite prompt from today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!